Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am Monae and you are watching Life as Monae. So we are more than halfway through 2021 and I have been looking at my shelves and there are quite a few books that I wish that I would have read in the year 2020 because some of them are still sitting here and they're just staring at me and I'm tired of ignoring them. So these are all of the books that I feel like I should have read last year and that are high on my priority list to finish before this year is up. So if you guys want to see what those books are, keep watching. The gate with the heavy hitters. The first book, or the first author that I wish that I had read from in the year 2020 period, is Brandon Sanderson. I think I am literally the only high fantasy reader on the planet who has not read from the Godfather Sanderson, and it is time for me to. So actually I'm going to be reading these two books, one really soon for a buddy read and the other one is going to be for a book club live show. And so that one is going to be Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. The time has come for me to finally read this book and it is literally long overdue. All I know is that in this book we have these special people who are trying to overthrow the existing leader king government that's happening, and it includes this heist, or maybe the heist is, I don't know. All I know is that there is a heist in here and somehow that directly correlates to them trying to overthrow the existing government. People rave about this series and it is supposed to be a 5-star prediction for me because it apparently has everything that I'm going to love in a book, and I'm looking forward to getting into Brandon Sanderson because again, I think I'm the only person that hasn't read from him yet. And unfortunately, and that is not going to be the first book that I read. The first one up is actually going to be Skyward, and this is another one that I wish that I would have read from in the year 2020. This one has really high ratings. The covers of the books seem really pretty to me, and this one is actually not a fantasy book by this author. This is a sci-fi, and I don't know much about what's happening in the plot of this book, but I do know that the survival of the human race is dependent upon what's happening in this book. And the new books are still coming out, and I'm hoping to read this in my buddy read and love it so that I can run and catch up to the newer books that are coming out because I want to jump on the train as the books are coming out. I plan to still read a lot of the backlist, but I do want to enjoy the fandom that is Brandon Sanderson as the books come out. I want to be excited with everyone else. So this is the train that you can see me running behind, and I'm trying to catch up with, and that is ambitious of me because this man has a lot of books and all of the books have a lot of pages and all of the pages have a lot of words. So just keep me in your thoughts, send me positive energy as I embark on this journey that is Sanderson, and as I try to catch up with the already existing members of his fan club. I have quite a few sci-fi books that I should have read in the year 2020, and that also includes To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. This is a 5-star prediction for me. I expect to absolutely love this book. I was super excited about it, and then I hit a slump, and then to pull myself out of the slump, I started reading comfort reading books, and then I got back into the gear of things, and then I started reading so much fantasy, and now I'm at the point where I am reading sci-fi and it's just long overdue, and now this one is like staring at me from my shelf, calling to me because I should have read this book ages ago and I don't know what happened. I'm still very excited to read it, and all of the hype around the book just makes me that much more excited. This is also like a first contact survival of the human race is dependent upon the characters in this book as well. And this is also like a really big book. This one also has a lot of pages, and it looks to be like just short of 900 pages, like 880 pages. And I need to read this. Like, all of these books in this video that you're gonna see are like really big tomes that I should have read ages ago. So the next one is also a chunky book that I should have read last year, and that is going to be Fall or Dodge in Hell. Again, this one full of words, and it looks to be 885 pages. In this book, we are following this character named Dodge, who becomes this multi-billionaire from a gaming company. And in his middle years, he's pretty much just enjoying life, having fun with his niece and his grandniece, and enjoying all the riches from his young years that he managed to raise. And one day, he's going through this routine medical procedure, and he is pronounced brain dead. And the family is like distraught. Dodge, in his will, specifically ordered that his body be given to a company that is basically supposed to put his body in stasis until he can be revived, because he just believes in technology that much, and he believes that in the future there will come a day where they can revive him and just make him live again. And so the family is stuck by law, because that's what he wrote in his will, to do this thing that they're not even really sure will happen or if it's even worth it. So they do it. And in the future, it actually does come to pass, and his brain software is uploaded to this database. And in the future, they have found a way to beat death by having souls live on as digital souls. And so when Dodge comes back, he's not living in the world that he knew. He's living in this new and improved bit world, but it is not the utopia that he anticipated it would be. So when he comes back, he finds that this is not at all what he thought he wanted for himself. And I'm anticipating that I'm going to love it because the synopsis just sounds really good. My new favorite trope includes technology and video games, and this just incorporates both of them. And I'm hoping that this is a full story that I can just open up and enjoy and love. And who knows, I might even give it 5 stars. This is the first book that I'm going to be reading by Neil Stephenson, and I know that he is a very renowned author. Everyone loves him, and I was supposed to start reading from him last year. I got this book from Half Price Books for $12, and it's in pristine condition, and I also plan to read this soon. I'm gonna be drowning in books that I should have read in 2020. It seems like I put off, towards the end of the year when I went into my slump, I only was reading YA books that were short and easy to digest, and I have put off all of these massive books, and now it's time for me to ante up. So the next book that I should have read in the year 2020 is going to be Dune. In this book, we're following a character named Paul. Paul descends from this ruling family, and he is sent on this quest to rule this planet that is inhabitable, but it contains this spice drug that extends life and enhances the consciousness of a person's mind. And everyone throughout this galaxy universe is vying to get their hands on this drug, and they're murdering each other for it. Something happens to Paul, and his family descends into chaos, and he embarks on a completely different journey than what he anticipated would happen for his life. And this is a very coveted sci-fi series within the adult sci-fi world. I was supposed to read this a while ago. I even snagged the special edition copy of this book, and the movies are coming out. But I do plan to read this book really, really soon. If I get an opening to fit this book in, I definitely will be taking it. So the next book is going to be The Shadow of What Was Lost. Another book that I definitely should have read last year that I was actually very excited for. I know that we're following this character named Davian or Davian, and in this world there used to be these godlike powerful ogres that pretty much ruled everything until they were killed off and basically called to be extinct by the people. And Davian discovers that he has the forbidden magic and the power that used to be possessed by these ogres, and that makes him a target within this kingdom. And there's also some other characters that we are following, and another ancient spirit that seems to be arising within this book. And that's all that I really know, and I do know that I need to read this really soon. It's the first book in a trilogy, I believe. I believe there's 3 or 4 books, but don't quote me, I could be wrong. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I read Priory of the Orange Tree last year, and I did enjoy it, and I went out and I bought the first 3 books in the Bone Season series, and I was supposed to start this ASAP, and I don't even remember, I don't even have an excuse for you guys as to why I didn't start this last year when I was anticipated and when I was planning it. I have no idea what happened, but I need to get to this before the end of 2021 because I am not dragging books that I was supposed to read in 2020 into the year 2022. We're just not going to do that. In this book, we are following this character named Paige, and Paige is not supposed to exist for the powers that she has. Her whole existence is illegal. So she's been getting by in the criminal world by breaking into people's mind and gathering information on them for whoever is hiring her to do this particular job. And that's pretty much all that I know. We're going to be following this character. I know that there's like some type of power grapple within this book that's going to involve our main character Paige, but I'm really just interested in her talent because she can read minds, and it's been a while since I've seen that skill set in a book. This is the series that Samantha Shannon is known for, and I was expecting when I read Pride of the Orange Tree to definitely be a series, but it wasn't. And this one I believe has like 4 or 5 books, and I want to jump in on that one too. I plan to, when I start this, definitely run through it because there are more than enough books already out for me to jump onto, and this one's actually not that big compared to the ones that I've listed before, and so I feel like I can catch up to these really quickly because all the books seem to be under 600 pages. Okay, and then the last book just jumped on the radar after I read The Martian and Project Hail Mary, and that is going to be Children of Time. Reading Project Hail Mary reminded me that I totally forgot to read this book when I bought it. We are in this world where humans were trying to survive or live on another planet, and so they sent this serum up with these monkeys that were supposed to consume the serum, and there was supposed to be another evolution, and then, you know, humanity or some form of human life was supposed to continue from this evolution as well. Something happens along the way where the monkeys ended up dying. They don't make the trip, but the serum does, and on this planet where the serum makes it, it is consumed by these spiders. So now we have these conscious sentient spiders who are really large, and that's all that I know. I remember reading this with the spider thing, and I'm like, that's very weird for us to have human-like spiders. I don't know if I would love that. But then I read Project Hail Mary, and we do have a spider character in there, and I actually liked that character. I liked what happened in the book, and so it reminded me that I need to read this one, and it also made me a lot more comfortable with the idea of conscious human-like spiders. And this one is supposed to be a lot more in-depth on the spider aspect, so I'm excited to see what happens in this book. This is another one that I need to read. I need to read all of these books, and I don't know what I'm going to read first. I do know I'm going to read Skyward and Mistborn first, but after that, I don't know what I'm going to jump into. I just know that they all need to be read before this year is up. And there you have it, guys. These are all of the books that I should have read in the year 2020. Fall, Mistborn, Skyward, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, The Shadow of What Was Lost, The Bone Season, and Children of Time. So make sure you guys hold me accountable, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.